Ooh. Hi, and welcome to All Dressed Up.
And the Nowhere to Go show.
I'm Beni Malone.
And I'm Anahareo. And I don't know if you tuned in with us a couple of weeks ago, but literally we're in the exact same place.
Same couch.
Same bubble.
Same place.
The only thing that's really changed, Beni has the same top hat. I have a different dress.
Wow, you do, Anahareo. That is styling, very glittery.
Well, you know what? I think there's a story to every dress.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I wore this dress was in Montreal at a RuPaul Drag Race show with one of my besties, Mimi. So it has a lot of good memories.
Well, you got to be glittery to go to a RuPaul drag show in Montreal. So you fit the occasion, I'm sure.
Yes. So here we are. Do you have any things that you should tell the audience? Any housekeeping that we need to know before we get started?
Well, we're comfortable here on your couch in your beautiful living room in your beautiful house. Over to our left is our perfectly well-stocked kitchen. So we got a few beverages there. If you need a drink during the show, feel free. Down the hallway is the washroom if you need to use the facilities. If it's not set up exactly like your house, well, you'll just have to adjust yourself accordingly.
And feel free to react as we are on Facebook. So if there's something you like, let us know. If you have a question, maybe just post it in the comments and maybe we'll get to it at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So what about tonight? Who do we have? Who's our first guest? I'm going to ask Beni to introduce our first guest.
Well, our first guest is actually one of my favorite circus people in all the world, Kryn Hagglund. Kryn is a star from Cirque Éloise's reign that toured the world. And she started her own circus TV show too, Big Top Academy. And you know, I'll tell you a little story about Kryn that just sums her up perfectly. Kryn was at the last St. John's International Circus Festival, and we were out at one of the socials. I think it was the closing night party. And I said, Kryn, I just got a call today from Labrador, and they want us to bring up a full-scale circus New Year's Eve. And I said, wow, I mean, I'm going to have to really scramble to get people to fill this bill. And Kryn just looked at me straight in the eye and said, you know, Beni, I'd love to do a gig like that. So we shook hands. 3 months later, me and Kryn, the whole cast and crew in Labrador, doing a show 40 degrees below zero in a big arena for over 1,000 people. I mean, that had a great time. That sums up Kryn Hagglund in a nutshell.
So I think on that note, let's welcome Kryn.
Hi, Kryn, you look fabulous.
Oh, cheers.
Hey, darling.
I'm so happy to be here.
You look gorgeous,
Thank
darling.
you. Thank you. So do you, Beni. So do you, Anahareo. It is such a pleasure to be on your talk
We're so
show.
happy. The last time we had you here, Kryn, was for the last festival, which seems like so far away now. I can't wait to hug people again and see people again in person. But like seeing you like this, it's still amazing. So one of the things I was wondering, Kryn, you came for the first two festivals. And did you feel a difference in the two, or was there something that stood out in either festival as like a moment for you?
Well, and I have to tell you, my favorite moment about this is just being really early in the process and being one of those people who said, I don't know if I was the first one, but I was like, Anna, you should do a festival. You'd be like, oh, something like that. And so for me, I have to say, both of the festivals are really, the thing that just stands out for me is that they're super well organized. And the thing is, you have so much community support for this festival. Like, people really show up. Everybody's excited about it. People were so happy to come and see the shows and, you know, see the family events that you guys had. I'd say that the thing that really stood out for me with both festivals is just how involved everybody, your whole community is. It's really impressive how much of a gift.
Well, and I think part of the gift, though, Kryn, was really having people like you be on board and come and be a part of it. And for me, one of the moments that really stood out was the first festival when you were the host of the cabaret, and just the way that you welcomed everybody and the way that it was just so beautiful and so warm. And I was like, this to me is circus. And yes, we have it here in our community, but circus is such a broader community, you know, and that's what I wanted to share with St. John's. And it was really you who did kind of push me. You said, you have the destination. Had you been here before the festival like that? I'm trying to remember.
I did a tour with Wonderbolt. Thank you very much.
Cool.
So I
was trying to picture because I think that's exactly what it was. And then I had gone to Ireland, and then it all came together.
Which helps you get the place when you've been here too, and understand it a bit more, I think, eh?
Yes, exactly.
So Kryn, like all of us, I'm sure you've been impacted by the pandemic, and you've probably had a bunch of fabulous projects that have been, let's say, deferred or postponed. We'll use that word. But are you working on any new things? Has it inspired any new things to work on, or how's that working for you?
Well, it's been, I have to say, it's hard.
Yeah.
As an artist, this is not. I don't want to sugarcoat this because I feel like, just your own identity, your work, your routines, with everything shifted, it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, definitely, it's put projects kind of on the side. So for me, there's a few projects that have really, at the end of this, my focus is comedy and clowning and character work, as you guys know. That's my passion. And so I think that as we emerge from this COVID thing, we're going to need humor more than ever.
Yeah. And connection.
Connection, humor. We need that just healing for laughing at ourselves and, ways to find community again. And so for me, I think that, so I have a project which is a many women clown show that I have been working on for quite a while, and just in really early stages, but so that will hopefully get rolling in the post-COVID period. And then I have a little film project which I can't quite talk about yet, but it should be pretty fun. So that's going to be something that I'll shoot in the next.
That's great, because so many people have gone digital or had to go digital, just like we're doing now. I think of your act, like the interactivity you have with people, calling people up from the audience and going into the audience and stuff.
Right?
We'll have to reinvent it all, won't we?
For now. Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be doing that for a while. I mean, I think that it is really heartening to see some artists just doing, street performances and kind of these impromptu drives through neighborhoods. At least that's happening in Montreal, and I think that's really exciting and happy. These like just spontaneous parades. I've been riding my penny farthing around my neighborhood.
Why not? I'm doing a show in someone's driveway when I leave here.
Right.
So you do what you got to do.
Exactly. But yeah, so for me, I think that we're gonna need some good humor, good laughter medicine.
Yeah. And
Krynn,
me and Beni spend a lot of time thinking about this, and I guess the whole circus world is kind of thinking this. Like, what do you see the future of circus in the next year? I keep going like month by month, but it keeps changing, and I'm like, when will we be in a theater again, or will it be more that there's a performer and the audience are walking by and there's social, do you have any visions, or you're in the epicenter there in Montreal where there's so many artists right now. What do you see maybe?
I mean, I wish I knew. I mean, I think I'm like you guys, just trying to see. I mean, the thing that gives me a lot of confidence is the amount of creativity that the circus community has. And, generally the kind of people who choose to make their life in circus are people. If you're going to become a circus performer, you don't have enough.
There's a lot of resilience.
There's a lot of other easier jobs to take.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so when you've committed to become a circus performer, you really, it is the thing that you need to do in your life.
Yeah.
And so, for circus as a whole, I have so much hope for the industry. I think that it's going to do fine in the longer term, but I don't. I have to say, I don't have rose-colored glasses that this next year is going to be an easy one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be everywhere. It's not just our industry. It's actually like somewhat reassuring that the whole world, it's not like just our sector, but at the same time, you wish you could look into like a futuristic glass ball and know what the future is going to be. But I guess we just have to keep doing what we do and, like you said, stay positive. And there's definitely, like, for me, plan A's and plan B's. But there's always I always go back, then I'm actually back to a plan A. You know what I mean? Like, I went to plan G and then I'm back, okay, now there's plan A and plan B again. And I think that's part of what you're saying in circus is that we just, like, I remember someone saying when they wanted to get into the National Circus School, they didn't have a plan B, it was plan A. And that's all they wanted, right? So I think it's a bit that.
And our plan is to keep going.
Right?
First plan.
Exactly.
And so I guess you're excited when we actually go back to doing like contracts and gigs. But we were kind of wondering, what was your favorite gig you've ever done, or favorite place you've performed, or where you'd like to go back, something along those lines.
Okay, I I have a good one. Benny, I don't know if you saw Cirque Éloise's Rain. Did you?
Yes,
Did you
I
see
only
it?
saw
And I
it
know
in,
you
wait a few
in
times.
clips of it and stuff, Kryn.
Okay.
But I was always amazed by your image in it. I always, it just blew me away.
Oh, well, thank you. It was a very special creation, and it was when we took the original cast of that show performed in Paris at the Trianon Theater, which is in Montmartre, and it was just one of those meetings of like a specific show, and it just really fit. I think it just filled an emotional need because the show was, it just was like the right fit for the community, and we were all so committed as a group to perform together, and it was a long but really intense creation process with this show. And so the end of Rain ends in the rain, where we're all standing on stage in the rain. And my parents had come from Wisconsin in the US to see the show, and my dad, so he recorded the applause for the show. So we're all standing in this really cold, freezing rain at the end of the show, and the applause just kept going. And the public, it just was like this incredible meeting of the public with this show. And it lasted more than 14 minutes when my dad's recorder ran out. And so I always am like, okay, if I'm ever really sad in my life and I just need a good pick me up, I'm gonna stand in a cold shower in my swimsuit and play this recording of the applause for 14 minutes if I ever need a really big boost. So that, I'd say, was probably my best.
And that was one of my
magical
favorite
moment.
shows. Like, I was fangirl. I think I saw it probably a dozen times, and I saw it in Switzerland. I think I saw it in Cardiff, New York. I mean, I was like fangirling. Well, I knew a lot of you as well, but I was like sometimes following you guys on tour, meeting up.
It was so fun to always meet up with you, Anna, in different
And that
places
show every
around the
time,
world.
like, that feeling in your belly and like the goosebumps, like every time. Loved it. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Kryn.
Yes, Kryn, so good to see you.
Can't wait to see you. But I know you have a little video for us, so we were going to show. Did you want to say anything about it, or just let the video speak for itself? Or
no, I mean, it's just I decided to share some things that have been helping me, and maybe
thank you.
others.
Thank you so much, and we really hope to see you again in person soon.
Love you
We
too,
love
Kryn.
you.
See you
Thanks
again
for joining us.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Hello, my name is Krynn Hagglund. I am a performer, circus artist, and director, and today I would like to share with you tips for performer types at home. It can be a little difficult, when you've spent your entire career learning how to communicate with large, live audiences of people close together in theaters. It can take a little creativity to figure out what to do and who you are and how to help and what's gonna happen and if you'll have a career. Anyway, here's some things that are helping me, and I hope that they might help you too. Find a new hobby and immerse yourself in it. Grow.
Mommy, can I have some water?
Practice smiling with your eyes so that you don't seem creepy when you wear your mask. Hi. Oh, sorry. Practice art analysis. I sense a lot of frustration in this picture. This is a domesticated cat. It needs to break free from its domesticity. This cat just needs to go outside. See where it leads you. Just wear your costumes. You paid for them and they're not doing any good hanging in your closet. And lastly, if you feel like banging your head against the wall, just go for it. You know what to do.
tips. I'm wearing my costume, practicing my iFLY. Wow, great practical tips, and we can't wait to give you a hug, Kryn Hagglund.
And
love you.
I personally needed those tips, so thank you. I'm going to use all of them. But up next,
we have Pat Leonard from Seven Fingers.
And Seven Fingers are one of my personal favorite companies. And I have to say, when I think about the last 2 years of the festival, probably one of my highlights was really having Patrick come here and do his solo show, Patinoire. And when I got to see that show at the LSPU Hall and with a full audience, totally sold out. We couldn't even sell tickets. It sold out before we almost sold the tickets. I was just blown away by that show. I loved it. Yeah. So I've known Pat longer than I want to say because it's going to age us both. So I'm not going to say how long I've known him.
That'll age me.
And that will age my father.
So let's
not go there. But I just want to say that when I first approached the Seven Fingers about this festival, they were on board from the first word of we want to do a festival in. Before I even got out the words, they were on board. Yep. And that was so beautiful. They have really been a big part of the festival for the last 2 years and going forward. And in helping building what I think is circus in Atlantic Canada. Yeah. And it's because of companies like this and the National Circus School and different,
organizations from the circus world.
Exactly.
The Quebec Circus School and people across Canada, Annie Dugan, Femme de Feur. It's been a really national experience that we're creating, international. Really.
And we just are so grateful to have companies like the Seven Fingers who are on board, and we've thought about them during this pandemic. And one of the first people I thought of was Pat. I'd love to chat with him.
And Pat jumped in, feet first, right away, both years, would do anything and everything. I think before a show, he would hand out tickets, or he would, help do workshops or lift a table anywhere. He was just involved, 100%.
And I think that's what circus is. So we are so happy to have with us tonight Patrick Leonard from the Seven Fingers.
Where? Oh, here, yes.
Hi, Pat.
Hey. How are you?
Hi, everyone. I mean, you too.
Yeah, it's a lot of people right now.
Good.
You look great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Oh, we're fine.
We're doing good. We're hanging out a fair bit because we're not allowed to hang out with anyone else. We can only hang out with one other family.
We're double bubbling.
We've been seeing a lot of each other, but it's good. It's been good. Pat, so the last time I saw you, you were here.
And I see there's about...
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we're dressed up. We're looking good. And we have the hats rocking, Pat. I like your hat.
You do? Yeah, I like your hat too. Oh, let me put a little bit of glamour here.
Oh, there you go, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Very alpine.
Here, I think this is better.
Oh, there, that looks great.
That's perfect.
So, hey, Pat, you came here for 2 festivals as well, you and Kryn, both times with Patinoire, which I absolutely loved. Did you have one year that was more exciting than the other, or something that stood out about either year of the festival? How did it feel coming back a second time?
Actually, I was really surprised you invited me a second time. Not that I thought the first time I wasn't good enough, but actually, it's pretty much the first time somebody invites me twice for the same event or the same theater and stuff. So, but then when you announced that I was coming back in the big theater, oh my God, that was a little stressful. Not that I'm not used to big theater, I did them, but once people have seen me in a small place, very intimate and stuff, and then they see me in a big space. Remember, I told you I was afraid that some of the people who have seen it would go like, not as good in a big place, But at the same time, the more people see it, the happier I am, and the bigger the space, the more I give. Yeah. So I was very, very happy. Of course, I was very happy to have been invited the first time. I was very happy that you came up with this crazy idea of putting together a festival outside of Montreal, because in Montreal we have the festival, we have lots of things in circus, but everywhere else in Canada, not much is happening circus-wise. So for me, it was it's.
It was great, Pat. Both shows were great. I saw both of them, of course, and of course the first time blew me away. It was in that smaller, intimate space, but to see how you took the whole crowd in that bigger theater and used the dimensions of it a bit more, and it was amazing. 2 amazingly great shows, different in their own way, in the second show, I did catch myself watching the audience a bit more because I knew things that were coming up, and it was, how are they going to react to that? How are they going to do it with this? And it was two great shows, I must say. It was really great. Did you enjoy the tour? Because when we came back the second time, we arranged a small tour.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It was, again, it reminded me of, because, I toured mostly France, like most of the circus artists. Yeah. France has a great accessibility to all the small cities and stuff. And going into those small theaters, kind of, one of them was pretty old and I wouldn't say crappy, but, it's... you can see that there's not much stuff happening there, but popular music, popular
tribute shows and stuff,
popular Canadian band and stuff. And so to be there with a kind of an edgy circus clown show was quite something, and I think the audience felt that too.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You're like a missionary out there from circus.
Yeah.
This is part of me. This is part of the process of we need to create a public in Canada for those type of shows, and not only in circus, but more edgy theater. I would love for Quebec to have more theater and circus from Canada, and vice versa. And I think that maybe now with what's happening, that's where we're gonna focus. That's what we're gonna focus on. How can we share between each other?
We're going to get exposed to that a little bit more too. How's your company? How's Seven Fingers reacting to the pandemic and moving forward? It must be a whole new world for you guys.
We're all pretty terrible. It's the end of the world, and it had to come one day, but we're not gonna die.
No.
Oh no. Seriously, I mean, it's been 2 terrible months in terms of trying to figure out where to go. The whole, the Six Fingers and Nasib, we're all working really hard at trying to find avenues, because it's not just about reinventing our circus. We have such, now after 20 years, we have such a quite big machine and a beautiful space that we need to keep alive and pay the rent, and this is a pretty big challenge. So everybody's working hard and everybody is thinking virtual. And when I think virtual with circus, I'm like this. I feel very bad.
Yeah.
So and of course, as an artist, I am completely lost, destroyed, trying to figure out, that when the government says, like, you're going to have to be creative. Yeah, thank you.
We've had a lifetime of that.
Creative. We don't need that.
Yeah.
So very challenging. I do have lots of the pistes, ideas of what we could do.
Yep.
One main one is I've been sharing, or sharing is not the right word, cherishing a project in the woods, something that I would call my integrative project for my 50 years of life. That means like trying to put together all these things that I've been doing, but I've been doing very badly because I'm the only one to do it. That means like being a good consumer, being a good artist, being a good parent. So I want to create a space and gather the people around me in order to give ourselves the possibility to become good citizens, good consumers, and still have circus be part of our everyday life. So it's a performing space, but also a living space. So it's a big project, which I kind of put on the side burner, saying like, oh, I'm going to do it on the side, and slowly it's going to take its place. I think now is the
time.
Yeah.
You said a good parent. How are you managing at home with all the kids and keeping them inspired and active?
Because I don't know about you, Pat, but I used to love going to work and like being away for a bit, and you had that great space, because I've seen your new venue of the Set Dwell, which is huge, and just that space. So I have 3 kids here. I know you have more. I just got a kitten for my kids to kind of keep them busy. It's kind of working
wonderful.
But I can imagine for you the same thing in Montreal. It's getting warm now. You're in an apartment. Like, how is it going?
Well, I wanted to strangle them a little bit. Not true, but
Personally.
that's my girlfriend. Don't even try. You tried too. I saw you. No, seriously, I think this was a very challenging time, but not just for us as parents. I think for kids too.
True.
They were tired of us.
Yeah, I know. I know. When Anahareo got the cat.
Can we do something else?
Yeah, they want to see other people. They want to be with their friends. They want, it gets a lot, right? It's a lot.
But at the same time, when would have this happened?
Exactly. Yeah.
So we have to take it as a great thing. It's been very hard. I think it's been hard on our couple, but you know, good hard because you try to fight for your free time, and so very challenging, very rewarding. At the same time, I could show you, I got a great new balcony in the back. I got a bunk bed that I made by myself with
It's
some
like...
old wood that I recycled. And so I made my couple of free times, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, very useful.
It's taken us into a whole different road, hasn't it? I mean, some days you wake up and you wonder, what are you doing? No motivation. And other days you wake up and you're going to have your whole life rearranged. So it's
let me guess.
It's a growing experience.
Let me guess. You're a clown.
I'm a clown.
With the beards, you two are
Is that
matching.
how it goes?
I'm totally on
Oh my God, life is so great. Oh my God, life is.
I know.
Oh my God, life.
Oh my God, life is. Maybe I can write this down as a story.
Yeah. I know. It's a good test of patience.
But, you know.
And like I said, for you, I really am trying to, like, the times when I'm super overwhelmed, I try to say, no, this is exceptional to have this amount of time with my family, with my kids. My husband's usually on a film set, so we're often tag teaming. But now to be together and do it together as a team is actually kind of beautiful, even though I'm the same as you. I'm fighting for my time, and like I need some time just for me. But that, it will come, and you know, it's a good test. It's a good test. Let's see how we all come out.
And it's happening, so we got to kind of deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Pat, when you reminisce now over a coffee or drink, what's like the favorite contract that you've ever done with the Set Droit, or maybe it's on your own, or like does something stand out to you as like your favorite moment of performing?
Actually, not really.
No?
Because I think I've been a very lucky artist performer, is that I've always had a lot of possibilities, meaning that I was able to choose where I really wanted to go. And I guess as much as I'm a clown and I can be very depressed, I always find a way to find the best into things.
I like your definition of clown.
And so there's no like real specific contract that I, oh wow, that was the most amazing thing. But of course I've had like very particular experiences. But the one that's above all of them is of course having been with the same company, the same people, creators for almost 20 years now.
You've been really lucky. They never traded you.
with its up and down,
Yeah.
They never traded me. I mean, maybe now we don't see each other as much. But great experience. The Olympics, being in front of 30,000 people in a stadium with I don't know how many millions of people watching you. Having many great experiences.
Well, you know me, like Set Droit is one of my favorite companies, and I remember seeing you rehearse at the old National Circus School in La Gare for Loft. Then I saw the premiere of Loft, and then I have to say I loved when I first saw it. It was kind of like talking to Krynn about Rain. It's like, I love that show. I fangirled. And same with Loft. I saw it in Berlin when you performed there in that intimate setting. I saw it in different venues in Montreal. And so that's definitely one of the shows that stands out for me as like one of my kind of inspirational kind of shows. But I'm so happy for your company, and being a collective, I find that super inspiring. When we work with a small team of people, and when you get the right team together, it opens up so many possibilities. And we're in this pandemic now, and our team meets, almost every day, and we have So
Plan A, B, and C.
Plan A, B, and C, and you can dream together and come up
Yeah.
with things, and you can have days when you're not all on the same page, but to find that group of people that you want to do stuff with is
Yeah.
amazing, and I think you're a perfect example of what you have with the Seven Fingers. So
And your team, yeah.
Super inspiring.
And you're going through the hard times now, but you got such a great team to do that with, you know, so it's kind of cool.
yeah,
And I think the future is about working collectively in small teams as much as planet-wise.
Yeah.
You know, I have a collective with the Seven Fingers that I hope we're gonna be able to pass through this hard moment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident we will,
Mhm.
although you never know about the future.
Yeah.
Who would have
Yeah.
right.
who would have guessed
think
with
we're
COVID?
here?
So yeah, and I am still also in many other collective work, like this idea with the forest is
Right.
going to be a very collective approach,
Yeah.
very much social. So
Yeah.
that's what I believe in.
Excellent.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There are beautiful things in all this. So Pat, you like Krynn put together a little video for us. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it, or maybe put it in context of what we're going to be seeing?
Yes. Okay. So I already forgot what the order of the videos are going to be.
I think we're going to show the
let's
colonne
say-
à trois, and then I think
Okay.
it was going to be, we're going to start with the 2x4, then colonne
Okay.
à trois, then, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, perfect. So the first video that you are going to see is going to be very challenging for you people in the audience. Just know very clearly that this was all rehearsed and planned, although it really looks spontaneous, and that is the whole idea of the thing.
Which is the trademark of your work, Pat.
Yes, actually, yes. And but in this case, it's very COVID-19 inspired in the fact that you know, as we were talking earlier, we are stuck with our kids the whole day for the last 8, 9, I don't remember how many weeks, and there are moments where you, like, we're fighting for a little time of freedom, or we're saying like, okay, they're there, I'm checking them, I'm gonna do my little thing. And of course I've got, like, they're not even 2 years old, the twins, and then Oscar is 4 years old, so they're running around, they're doing stuff, I'm working, making a balcony, so they climb on the ladder, no, come down, and so on and so on. So this crazy idea came to me. Also, I'm trying to use my teenage girls to help me be part, of, we're stuck here. Let's help the whole house thing. I know you get, they have their studies and stuff, but I try to get them to help me with the house. Not very efficient. And of course, when they do it. They say, yeah, we want to help, but they, not. So this is putting this very short clip is putting all this together. The teenage that wants to help, but they're not completely into it. Papa was kind of going around like checking this and that, and then what could have happened in a crazy moment. So this is an example of that. I find laughter into it, but at the same time, I try to imagine if it would have been real. Anyway, so I think I've said enough on this one. The second one would be, okay, this was a very poetic moment inspired at the beginning of the thing, is that I'm thinking it's a play with words also in French. It's not a colonne à trois, by the way, it's a colonne à virus. Coronavirus, coronavirus, colonne à virus. And I'm saying that the virus, which is this little thing that, made our life so in the last couple of weeks, months, well, you have like little viruses, our kids, that make our life here and then, So this is the little play with words that I wanted to make about having my kids, they do circus, and we decided to put on the colonne à virus.
Perfect.
This is going to be the second one. And the third one is actually also like the first one, inspired by a deal that I made with Philippe Trépanier, who was going to be in your next festival, who will be probably virtually, maybe live. Maybe
we're not
sure.
Some part, yeah.
Yeah, nothing is sure from now on in this world, which is a good thing for clowns. So yeah, it was a deal. Like, let's say, okay, we're gonna send each other each week like a little video where we make each other's laugh. So this last video should make you forget about the first one, and it's a very simple slapstick.
I'm already crying.
Again,
Perfect chronology.
I love it.
I will finish with saying apologies for the audience for this first video. Just take it really as a clown statement about my situation.
I think people will be able to relate to it, Pat. And I think your explanation of it was perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, we miss you.
We do.
And I can't wait to see you in live again, whenever that is, Montreal or here. Till then, take care.
I have this amazing show for next year.
Oh, please.
Next year, I have this amazing show. It's called Patinoire. If you want to have it.
Third time's a charm.
We'll do it outdoors at a drive-in.
Yeah, right on.
Third time.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you'll see the slide. Since it's outside, imagine the size of the slide. It's gonna be crazy.
Well, you're welcome here anytime.
Anytime.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Pat.
Pat. Take care.
Tim.
Good luck with your building projects.
Thank you. Good luck. Stay safe.
You too.
Okay, bye.
You too.
And now for the video.
Yeah.
Il reste juste un là. On va juste venir le mettre ici. Ok, là il y a Oscar qui est pas. Attention Oscar.
Oscar, passe-toi.
Oh, Conrad, attention, là, mets pas les billes dans ta bouche, mon amour. Mets pas les billes dans ta bouche. Oh my God! Je vous présente la colonne à virus. Mes petits virus à moi, les bons petits virus de la vie. Et ben voilà. Yeah! Massage à Alaska. Est-ce que tu t'es fait mal, Alaska?
Je suis désolée, je bouge beaucoup.
Qui arrive quand on fait des colonnes une fois par 6 mois. Conrad? Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Tu veux toutou?
So don't try that at home. I think it was a foam beam he had to film.
And I think Pat made it really clear, like, do not try this at home. These are professionals.
Yeah.
His family is professional.
And it's so Pat.
Thank you so much to Pat and Krynn for
Yeah.
joining us tonight. It was amazing to have you with us.
And making those great videos.
And virtually, and thank you for everything. And the last 2 years of this festival. It's been incredible to have you. Patinoire, you're booked again.
Yeah, definitely booked in.
Definitely.
Can't go
Just
not.
ongoing. You have an ongoing invitation.
We'd also like to thank Marco and Steph, who would make this possible, our behind-the-scenes
behind the
technicians.
scenes. And we had a few comments throughout. Hi to Marisol and Yannick
Lorena and
Cheryl,
James out there, and all of Grand Brit.
all of Garbett, everyone who's joining us live. Thank you so much. It
Yeah.
warms our hearts.
Yeah, it's great to
And
be part of this.
we're all about community. We want to thank our Wonderbolt community. So we
Yeah,
have a great
Wonderbolt
team that
And board of
helps
directors
pull all
and
this
team
off.
that's fabulous with us. And of course the community, and we'd like to highlight one sponsor who's been with us from the beginning tonight, and that's the Murray Premises Hotel. They've been a great sponsor, and they've had to go through the pandemic like everyone else, and good news is that they're going to open again on June 12th. So that's great
And
news.
it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Seven Fingers from the first words of us talking about a festival here in Newfoundland on this island in Atlantic Canada on the East Coast. They're on board before
got
we
it.
could even get the words out.
Yeah.
So thank you to them, and we wish them all the success in the world. And
Yeah.
we're so happy to have things reopening.
So stay tuned every Wednesday night. It's going to be a wonderful event. Sometimes it'll be all dressed up, nowhere to go, and sometimes we'll be digging deep into our extensive archives to bring up a few gems from the past too.
And we have some great guests coming up. I'm not going to reveal the names, but I'm going to let you know Finland, Germany, Montreal, St. John's. We're going to represent circus.
World from every aspect and every place.
Now that we're digital, why not?
Why not?
Let's just do it.
So thanks for joining us on All Dressed Up and Nowhere to
And
Go.
we have nowhere to go, so join us again soon because I know you have nowhere to go either. So you may as well come
See you
with us.
later.
Virtual hug. Ciao.
Ciao.